Hi there. Is anyone out there today? Give me a thumbs up if you do come online. I'd love to see you here. It is Linda Stacy with Living Blueprints, and it is Thursday afternoon, and I am in Chicago today. And some of you might notice that I'm wearing the same thing that I was wearing 2 nights ago, but that goes along with my gaining of some time by packing a smaller suitcase and re-wearing clothes. And when you're in multiple cities over multiple days, you can get away with that because no one can see me that saw me a couple of days ago. So anyway, it's good to see you here today. And this topic has come up again and again in the last couple of days, this time versus money thing. And I've been out in all these cities that have public transit, but when I'm getting into the city late at night, for one thing, I might not want to get on the public transit at night, but does it make sense for me to take public transit when it's going to take way longer to get into my hotel than if I just take a cab? And what is driving my desire to do public versus a cab? Now, I take the cab every time because I can get to bed sooner, but I know people who can expense this stuff and they insist on taking the public transit. Now, if saving the planet is good for you, that's all awesome. But sometimes I wonder if people are choosing money versus time. This also came up because my company is offering golf lessons, which is awesome. Golf lessons at one of these places downtown Boston. It's on a Thursday night. People keep sending it to me and saying, oh, you should, or have you signed up for this? Well, Thursday nights I work from home. And the number of things I'd have to give up in order to take advantage of a free golf lesson don't make sense. If I want a golf lesson, I'll do it locally and not give up all those other things. So sometimes I think we might just take opportunity because it's presented to us, but it might not always be the best thing to choose based on all the other things that we have to give up, if that makes any sense. Now, if you're on a tight budget and you can't do some of these things, I totally get it. Years ago, I think it was 2002, I went to a wedding in Ireland and I could not pay to park at the airport and I could not pay for a cab. So I parked in Medford, some of you know where that is, and I dragged my suitcase to the Davis train station and I took it all the way in to the airport. And just to add insult to injury on this one, I brought the wrong passport to the airport. And I ended up having to take my flight the next day and do it all over again. But for me at the time, a $90 cab ride from Salem versus being able to take a dollar-ish is what the subway cost at the time. I had to do it. So I think sometimes, though, we need to question how we're giving up time for the sake of a few bucks, especially with the Yankee thrift mindset. I mentioned a few days ago that I was in Weight Watchers for a long time, and it was awesome. I went to a Weight Watchers meeting in New York once where I heard a woman say that she was worth the cut fruit. She was worth the price of the cut fruit. We're worth that sometimes. It's like, get the fruit that's cut if it means that you're actually going to eat the fruit if you've got a very busy schedule. So if you have the resources, I'd say, don't always choose what you may have chosen at another time in your life because you didn't have the resources to. Support yourself in the various ways that you can. And I'm turning here and I wanted to see if there was anything else that I mentioned. I just think that sometimes we waste precious energy doing things that don't really make sense. I'll also say today that one of my colleagues wanted to have lunch today, and I was doing sessions, 2-3 hour sessions in the morning and in the afternoon, and I chose to take care of myself, and I sent her an email this morning and just said, I'm going to need to just run out and get lunch and then be quiet in the office that's been designated to me for the day. And again, taking care of my mental health. When you're presenting, you're using a lot of cognitive energy, and if I want to be able to complete full sentences for the afternoon session, I need to be sure that I take that time. So I was really concerned that I was letting her down in some ways, but you know what? She was fine. We still went out next door and got a great lunch, and we talked on the way there and on the way back, and then I had about an hour and 15 minutes where I didn't really have to interact with people. So do what you need to do to take care of your health and your physiology as it makes sense for you in the place that you are in your life. Anywho, I hope the week is going really well. I am looking forward to not doing any training tomorrow. And have a good one. All right. Good night, folks.